Hola a todos, mi nombre es Forrest. Escondí un tesoro y lo escondí muy bien. Hola a todos, mi nombre es Forrest. Escondí un tesoro y lo escondí muy bien. Hola a todos, mi nombre es Forrest. Escondí un tesoro y lo escondí muy bien. Hola a todos, mi nombre es Forrest.
Hey, Jason.
Escondí un tesoro y lo escondí muy bien.
Okay. So, anyhow, doing this video because after my video yesterday, I got a returned email back from Forrest Fenn. I was telling him about my art. Now I'm trying to sell that Model A, that cowl, that Ford cowl on eBay. And let's see, where you get it up on here. But I told him about the cowl, and he replied, I told him about my art, and he said, if I was in the art business, I would like to handle your art, Forrest Fenn. See, and there's this is from him, from Forrest Fenn. And you see, I had asked him, I told him put the Buffalo Cowboy car on eBay and try to raise money to get started on printing my art and maybe da. So, basically saying all this stuff that people criticize me for, it's just a rock. They don't see anything. Well, Forrest Fenn sees it. And actually, I think he knows what it is. He knows exactly what those are pictures of. And try and find it in the poem. In the poem. Look at the poem. You're seeking his trove. Trove. Definition of trove. It didn't say you're seeking his chest. Your chest is the prize at the end. And his art is laid out all over nature. And so, Forrest isn't in the art business anymore, but, he said that he would handle my art, basically be my art agent if he was still in the art business. Yeah, I can't move the cell tower, So if I'm pixelated, so when you find all his art and what he's trying to tell you about the important literature and stuff, when you find this art, publicize it. Tell the world what you found. Ring the bell loudly. Okay, so I've been trying to. You go up. There's a lot of people that can't see it, and they just don't realize how vast and important it is. And actually, this area is likely what we know as Atlantis, the Garden of Eden, the birthplace of civilization, where Adam and Eve were created. I got the characters of that story are here, carved into rock. Last million years, whatever. It's already been here over 13,000 years. No blaze on a tree is going to last that long. And I'm not going to keep explaining it to the... I mean, the major proportion of Forrest Fenn treasure seekers don't have what it takes. They just want that box of gold, and they have no imagination to get them there. It's just totally lacking. They're too involved with these celebrities and you know, Pink and Shakira and the you know, the Freak Family on TV. I have never even watched the show with the one with Bruce Jenner and all the Freak Family. I don't watch. Never cared for them. But they're so tied into the TV programming and stuff that their minds are incapable of the imagination it takes to find Forrest Fenn's treasure. So basically, Forrest endorses my art. Is what that's an endorsement. And if Forrest, I got something from Forrest says that he would like to handle my art. That I can go to another art gallery or find an agent. I need an agent for my art. Okay, somebody contact me. Somebody, I'm not in marketing. I was in the scientific. I took scientific educations and technical stuff. Computer. I have an IT degree. I'm three-quarters of the way to my Bachelor of Science in Digital Arts. Just need another year of school, and it's mostly the basic art stuff because I got all the science stuff mostly already. Might have to take the calculus left or a trigonometry or something. I got to have another math class and then some more art classes. But I've done the digital art classes and animations and things. But I did all that. I went and got my degree after I was an engineer and manager for Time Warner, designing fiber optic networks. I've designed microwave systems and stuff. And people think I'm stupid, you know? Just because somebody's accent or their demeanor sounds, it sounds like he's a hillbilly, you know? It doesn't mean they're stupid. It means you're ignorant. So, if someone wants to call me stupid, I just call them ignorant. An eye for an eye. You poke me in the eye, I poke you in the eye double. Double blazes to my haters. And the cowl, the cowling, the Malay cowling. Mike Cowlings doesn't know what a cowling is. Yeah, that's just amazing. Can't relate that big bullet hole. How might that relate to Forrest Fenn? Oh, I took a 50 cal to the nose. No, that would and my my critics out there. That bullet hole has nothing to do with his story in Vietnam because that's in Colorado, and that story was Vietnam. It says right in the book, his father was trying to find a substitute, and that the phones had a bell in them, and it was ringing. But it was way down at the other end of the hallway. So, you go down the hallway and that bell's at the other end of the hallway. Yeah, it all makes sense. I'm in the right area. And it's just that there's so many figures that can be considered a bell. Just the shape of an elephant, it's an omega shape, bell shape. when you look at these rock carvings, a lot of people, oh yeah, I see that elephant head, but they're not looking and seeing the trunk come down and hook back around one way or hook up the other way or whatever. And when you see an elephant trunk in these sculptures, there's always somebody hugging them with their arms wrapped around it. People hugging they love their mammoths. And the maid, see, this just reverses everything they've told us that these Clovis people brought the mammoth to extinction with their brutal hunting of them, when the evidence here shows that they loved the mammoth. They loved their mammoth. That mammoth made their income. That mammoth was their Ford F-850. They didn't have Fords. Now, how'd I get all the little flags? Is all the flags around the screen for you too? That's weird. Is this something YouTube doing for live or something? Um, yeah. But yeah, I've got for Forrest basically endorses my art. That's and I think that's because he knows what's in my art. He's seen it before. He's seen the Moses before. The Moses is there at the Ten Commandments in the burning bush. Moses is the blaze. An omnipotent guru can go straight to it. The only person in any of his books that he called an omnipotent guru was Leo Salazar, who carved the Moses, and it was carved, modeled after the stone Moses that's up in the Mammoth Temple. And there's, I don't know, 40,000 books of The Thrill of the Chase, somewhere around 40,000 books sold. And they say 300,000 people searching, but only 40,000 of them seriously enough to buy the book. You figure maybe those 40,000 that bought the book, a lot of couples and families, and so more than one person has read those books. I don't know what statistics are for how many people read the book for how many are sold, but there's a greater number of people have read the book than the number of books sold because of used books and people passing it on to other people. So there you could figure maybe 2-3 times the number of books sold, I would think, because like nobody's borrowed my book and read it. I got too many things highlighted in there. And when I find a treasure, I mean, I might be that cowl. It's like shame on the Fenn treasure hunters for not recognizing what that is and leaving that sit at $1. You cheap little. You know what? If it's under $100, then I will send you the $100 to pay for it, and I'll just keep it. Okay? So if you bid and it's less than $100, I'll send you the money so you can pay for it, and it'll cost me the eBay commission. I'll have paid 10% to eBay, and so it might cost me $10 to pay you so that you don't have to suffer with that thing. I live in my RV. I don't have room to haul this stuff around and store it and things like that. I got my property, but property isn't that secure. There's nobody there, you know. But it's shameful of the Forrest Fenn community, not just my fan or the whole community, that there's only one person in this world capable of deciphering Forrest Fenn's poem. And all of those that can't are so pissed off at me for figuring it out and outsmarting them that they gotta discredit everything I do. Well, you just when they if I'm being discredited, I'm going to discredit those discrediting me, and double blazes to my enemies. I mean, I got enemies, real enemies, people that hate me, and that's why that thing's sitting at $1, because I found one of Forrest Fenn's decoys. I'll bet if Forrest would answer the question, maybe he can give it to Mysterious Writings. Beware of the decoys. There's a lot of decoys. He could say something that lets you know that you'll find decoys. You'll see things that look like the treasure. And they look so much like the treasure, you think you found it. It doesn't mean that you've failed, but it's a sign that you're in the correct area, especially if you find in more than one decoy. And his trove of art, I got the Biddy's boy, the Rockwell boy, the gypsies, the buffalo car, the wood cut out of the forest, the word wood cut out of the forest, the canyon, the no place for the meek. I got the no paddle up your creek. I got the blaze. I got 100 confirmations. And you're calling that confirmation bias. Well, your confirmation bias theory is based on only having one or two things that give you a confirmation. When you have 100 confirmation, there's no doubt about it. You just, and anybody that can't see it is an ignoramus. Ignoramuses. There's a lot of ignoramuses searching for the treasure. They don't listen to Fenn. They don't pay attention to his stories. They don't know how important that day that he came home for Christmas, right after, just days after being in Vietnam and trying to decide, am I going to try and walk out to the ocean, or do I get on the radio and call for help, risking that pilot's life? And the helicopter crew, they would be risking their life because they're right by where he was shot down, But he and what a dramatic contrast it was, being there. I mean, some of us have been like Skippy left him out on the road. Some of us have been in that predicament where you're out in the middle of nowhere and you just think there's no hope, and some angel comes down the road out of nowhere and saves your ass. That's divine intervention, And when you find Moses up on the side of the hill between two 300-foot tall mammoths, standing there with his arms out, parting the Rocky Mountains, that's where Moses received the 10 Commandments. He must be some sort of omnipotent religious guru. He said it like some omnipotent religious guru, Success is an omnipotent guru. Success is the guy that can find Moses. And I found Moses. Wake up! Wake up! I guess it does no good to talk to brain dead. But one day this community will wake up and figure it out. You don't know Forrest and his what worth the cold. As long as there is warm blood pumping through his veins, that treasure is coveted and belongs to him. You do not get the title to the gold until he is dead and gone. And, and then you're going to be waiting, and one day you'll get contacted by some lawyer that lives at least 8.25 miles north of Santa Fe. Because he's, the treasure's, it's at least 8.25 miles north of Santa Fe. The treasure chest is at least, so maybe that's the bank, the safe deposit box that it's in. When the lawyer contacts the person that he named as the winner gets it. I still got some areas to check for the physical thing, but the more you look at these places, it should be, this has got to be it. This has got to be it. This has got to be it, and it's not there. The more you come up to find nothing, the more you consider that it could be a contest. And actually read the book. Read the book and find somewhere that it actually says the treasure chest with those jewels and gold is physically there. Because it gives you the title. The title to it, that just lets you go claim it. You don't have it until you have the title. If you don't have the title to the gold, then you can't have it. Yeah, think of it that way. You can't take the chest until you have the title. And the title to the gold goes to the person that finds all this art in nature. So, it could be over. But you got to wait for the cold. Wait for his blood to cold that. Like Moses, Charlton Heston. From my cold dead hands. Okay? You're not. Things I covet. Things I covet. He talks about things he covets. Things that he gave to his wife, but he still considers it his. But he doesn't have the heart to tell her. Well, he did in the book, obviously, but those things don't matter to a couple that's been together 60 plus years. My great grandparents, I have a picture from the newspaper when they were married for 60 years. And he was my great grandfather. I said in the video, he goes, whoopee! He made his own wine and he was always whoopee. But I'm just trying to say, it's that trove of art and nature. Troy Barlow has some. He's got that proxy thing, but it's nothing in a. Nothing. I don't think it's something in a bottle or a jar or anything. It's no message in a bottle. I think it's just the art and nature ringing a bell and telling the world about it. And I've got some things printed. Next month I'll get some more things printed. And I'm going to take my stuff to New York and try and get in some art exhibit or something with it. Yeah, and the idea, if I sold this this cowl, I can get a bunch of my art printed, poster size where it'd look good in an exhibit, and larger prints. I'm mostly printing 11 by 17s because I can get them when I buy 20 of them, the price is like half. So I buy like 20 a piece of each thing. That I ordered a couple, so I got 40 prints coming. Two different things. The Clovis Man avatar face, mammoth face poster, says Clovis Man on the top and Mammoth Temples of Colorado on the bottom. And I'm getting the two kids that are climbing on the rocks that are over by the Homer Brown, put in below the Homer Brown. There's the two kids climbing on rocks, and that's just an amazing. I mean, that's something that belongs on the cover of Life magazine. Is there still a Life magazine? Time Life. I know there's still Time, but is Life still out there? There may not be any life left on Earth. Have a good day. I'm done talking. I don't even know why I'm doing videos anymore, because what's coming over YouTube here, and people are watching and all that, but it's going in one ear and coming out the other. There's no sponge inside to absorb anything, and most of the not my fans, but most of the Fenn communities, and when somebody gets a letter, a reply from Forrest like I got, it's not a searcher that you want to exclude from your Fenn community. You want to include all searchers. Be inclusive, and not how many are watching? Six, and maybe two or three of them, not even half of them, are real fans. Probably at least one or two of them are lurkers. and just where is he? I'm trying to undercut him. It's a big area, and I'm not giving the details on my final 5 acres. I'm not giving that. I'm not and where in that 5 acres, what area seems promising. Because I looked in areas near there, and I got other things to check, and you're the symbol you're looking for is elusive, because all of the stories represent different symbols. There's the ZPU gun, the Biddy's boy, the Rockwell boy, the Buffalo Cowboys car, the Moses, the mammoths, the mammoth tusks, and fresh or salt. Only fresh or salt. It's only fresh water in the Fenn zone. I mean, Utah ain't even in the Fenn zone to get any salt in there. Stalker. Yeah, there's stalkers, and it seems there are more people up here in the area this summer, but I don't believe any of them have the imagination to catch up with me. New Mexico. New Mex. Let it be known, I care about nothing but this part of Colorado. I have seen so much evidence that I cannot consider any other area. Those that think that I'm missing something aren't doing the math of my discoveries, of the math of all the matches I've found. You can't find that many coincidences and call it a coincidence still. You got to be a stupid piece of dumb. I mean, yeah, I'm still gonna. I'm gonna work on this today. I want to make the poo head voodoo dolls. Yeah, yeah. The people that try to discredit me the most. The people that think I have nothing to contribute to the search when I have everything to contribute to the search. And they have nothing to contribute to the search through the whole book out. Just kept the poem. How are you going to learn anything about Forrest Fenn by doing that? How many states have you? Two. I searched New Mexico for 2 weeks, and I came up to Colorado. I went too far. I came back some. I hit the right spot. Found the blaze. Ended up camping at the blaze and decided to look up, what does this name mean? And the name was definitely a blaze. And it was a title. It was a title. If you know what a title is, I mean, typical the typical liberal mindset got rid of royalty and titles a long time ago. They don't know what a royal title is. So the blaze is basically a royal title in name, not in physicality, but in name. It's a blaze of a title. Not definite. The definition isn't blaze. There's another word that can represent blaze, and it's a title. So, I've tried to explain that very simply, but there's 40,000 people out there, at least, that have bought the book. They can't sponge that up. Their sponge is dry. So I want to show that again. A quote from Forrest Fenn, or what he sent me yesterday about my art when I told him I was going to take it to New York and see if I could get it exhibited. The chest ain't going to be found by nobody else. Oh, yeah, I stay tuned to your set. We are in control of your pixelation. We are Verizon. We are not the streamer. We are not the viewer. We are Verizon. We control your pixelation. We control your thoughts. We control your anger with somebody who has nothing to do with the pixelation. It's the corporation causing the pixelation, and there is not a thing I can do about it. I can maybe go outside, but I got to unplug. I don't like apologizing for corporations. It really frustrates me. and it frustrates me that that I would be that someone would think I was intentionally pixelating pictures. It's nothing I can. There's nothing I can do about it. It comes up all the time, and I'm talking about the treasure. I'm sorry, that was my sister. Some things you got to. Yeah, it doesn't. I can't do anything about it. It's you know. Uh, I'm not gonna even try to. I don't want to think about it. I I I, I get my Verizon helps scramble my head. They piss me off. You know, when somebody pisses you off, your mind just goes, ugh. You want to go choke the corporation. Because, you know, it's like when I went to kangaroo court. I was so pissed at them I couldn't think about anything else for a day, you know. I was so pissed off, and I'm filing my appeal tomorrow, so because that was a kangaroo court. You can't convict somebody for running a red light based on the light being red when they're exiting the intersection. Yeah. A corporation censoring you because you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I got that Model A cow on eBay there, and it's like they're hiding it from the world. You know, nobody allowed to see it. Hell, Dana, go put a $10 bid on that, Dana. If you win, I'll give you $20, so you don't have to suffer with that piece of metal. But uh, you know, come on, you know, somebody drive it up more than $1. You know, I'm that ooh, that alone, that $1 that's still sitting at $1 and one bid. That alone tells me that I don't have fans. I just have lurkers. There's maybe one person there trying to help me out. Jason, you know, one person. And he bid more than the dollar starting, so it's at this dollar starting. There we don't know what Jason bid until the next person bids. So, you know, um that's I love being insulted like that. It's been up for 18 hours and it's still sitting at $1. Double blazes to my haters, you know. Double blazes to the people that think that I defrauded them somehow by finding one of the decoys. Double blazes to them. You make voodoo dolls, my shithead voodoo dolls. I mean, you know, it's just a cross of sticks, and I have cloth wrapped around them, maybe some straw in there to fatten them up, and then I'm gonna take horse turds and put them on the top for their heads, and then put pins for eyes and nose, and yeah. So I'm gonna make shithead voodoo dolls, and then I'm gonna make a voodoo pig. And the shithead voodoo dolls, I'm going to stick them in the butt of the pig, voodoo pig. So my opponents, my discreditors, I'm gonna stuff them up the voodoo pig's butt. Not poke needles in them, but stick them in the voodoo pig's butt where they belong. Someone did, It's still showing me $1. I refresh. Oh, it's $1.25 now. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, I know who that was. Thanks, Cap. Oh, no, it's a Cajun man. But yeah, spread that link to that to Dale's thing. Those people, none of them listen to me on them. So I don't put anything on those groups anymore. Yeah, thanks. It was Cajun man, double blazes. Yeah, the double blazes are the middle fingers, two middle fingers, and when you and then when you turn them upside down, when the cow's tail pulls the stool out from under him, then it's cow udders. See, that's how that works. Those are double blazes and cow udders. And actually, when you turn the double blazes upside down, you see cow udders and cats. That's the confirmation bias, my ass. And anybody knows the George Carlin 7 words? Yeah, I got camping spot. I'm supposed to leave just after the 4th of July, but I got lots of room. There's lots of room here. There's nice places right around the other side of the trees and here, and I'm here because this is right on top of Fenn's totem, right across the canyon from the waterfall, and so I camp right there because it's so pretty and quiet. And sometimes occasionally you get a truck coming down the mountain, coming around the mountain. It's not old Susanna. There we go. So we could call. You know who we could call old Susanna? Oh, don't you cry for me. Susan's RF Hecky, so she can be old Susanna. Yeah. Yeah, I come from Colorado with a treasure on my knee. Yeah. So yeah, that treasure's on my knee. The people don't know. Oh, that's the other thing. You know where the end of the rainbow is, but it could be right there at the end of the rainbow, but it can be anywhere with any of the symbols that are in his book along this miles of Forrest Fenn map, say. and and one of the best ways to describe the waypoints of his poem is a bus route and bus stops. There's stops along the way. When you take the canyon down, when there's kind of two where warm waters halt, but you have to go with the warm waters halt that's too far to walk. And when you go from there, you're dirt road until you get below the Homer Brown. And at that point, you hit the tarry road and you go for a tarry scamp. And you still have bus stops along the way. There's no paddle up your creek is a bus stop. You're heading for no place for the meek, and on the way there is no paddle up your creek. And when you get there is heavy loads and water high. and then from the water high, you follow where it goes till it ceases. It ceases at the wood in tired and weak. And my poem, the concrete, my solution, the concrete has hardened, and you guys are still walking in the mud. My architecture is perfect. I'm building this success exactly to the plans, the architecture plans that Forrest Fenn wrote. and oh geez, I'm about done because I repeat myself a lot. And why do I repeat myself a lot? Because nobody is listening. Nobody is listening. Nobody is doing the math. Nobody. When you find a marble, that might be a confirmation. You find a bag of marbles, that's a lot more. And that's the other thing. You can leave. Well, you want to leave at your places. That's another thing you can leave at your spot, and it won't ever rot or anything. Is marbles. Heck with coins. Those coins. You can buy a bag of marbles for $4, and you can leave 50 of them for $4 instead of leaving one token for leave some nice cat eye marbles or little moonbeams or whatever, circular target ones. Yeah. So, yeah, I debated whether to whether to show people that email from Forrest. But one reason I do show it is because I don't feel that anybody should be privy to anything that could be a clue. So if he tells somebody something, then the rest of us need to know. Because we need that in our considerations too. He does. Everybody, you watch him. Anybody shows him a picture of this place, he'll go and make a little circle. It's right here, right here, right there. My pictures of these formations that my critics are incapable of seeing, they don't have those visual abilities. And so they are visually impaired and imagination deficient. My critics, the major critics, Laurel and Hardy. Oh, yeah, maybe she was a man. I don't know. But, yeah, my major critics, they don't see it. And he's gonna be eating some big humble pie. I don't think there's an oven big enough for the humble pie he'll be eating. Don't tell me he quartered up fifth. Yeah, Mr. Fenbury. I didn't go to Fenbury. It was indoors, and I got a dog, and I was thinking of going down to see Forrest at the signing for because it was scheduled for 2:00, and at noon or 1:00 in the afternoon, video was posted 2 hours ago, live feeds, and it's like, well, gee, I would have even gotten there after that. But, Yeah, I would like to go down and have lunch with Forrest or go have dinner with Forrest. Um, uh, yeah, he can send me an invite or something. I don't know. I don't like asking him, but I think it'd be nice. I'd like to, I bring my computer and I got a long battery on it, and I can show him a lot of just show him my art and the pictures I've taken. Because if it is his trove, these sculptures, these ancient Clovis sculptures from 13,000 years ago. Come on, San Lazaro's 800 years old. This thing is many times older, 20 times older than San Lazaro. Okay? And he loves archaeology and finding ancient stuff. His first arrowhead, where did he start with his first arrowhead? What is an arrowhead made of? A rock. If I could find a good looking rock, I could make a good looking marble. One day, you people are going to go, oh, we should have listened to him. But it won't do you any good because if it's his trove that you seek, and his trove is this art and nature. If that's the trove, I've already found it. So you can't come along behind me and say, look what I found. Forrest, Bill Gorman found that first. Bill Gorman found the biddies first. Bill Gorman found the Rockwell boy first. Bill Gorman found the Model A cowl first. Bill Gorman found Moses first. Bill Gorman found the Egyptian artifacts first. So I've already found the trove of art. And so if it's a proxy thing, then the chase is over. If the actual chest is there, I'm still looking. I'm still looking because the proxy thing's a theory. It's not the final. Until I have the chest, I can't have 100% faith in the proxy idea, but Troy there's a proxy that's not a message in a bottle. It's just the collection of art and nature. You find this collection of art and nature, you win. But you're not getting it. You got to pry it from his cold dead hands. Like Moses, Charlton Heston said. And yeah. There's Moses parting the Rocky Mountains, showing the people of the eastern U.S. the way to the western U.S. and vice versa. I haven't found a Moses on the other side, but there's some stuff over there. And I've got a 70-pound telescope that when I bought it in 2000, it cost me $3,000. The price was marked down from $5,000. So, but the living in an RV and the condensation got in the electronics, and so the motors don't work. So I have to manually, but I can look at Jupiter. I can see the gap in the rings of Saturn with my telescope, and I can see the moons of Saturn. I can see moons of Jupiter, and I was looking one time, and I saw a black spot on Jupiter. I was up at a friend's. A friend was having a party, and I was showing people there, and what's that black? That's not normally there. What's that? And it wasn't a shadow of a moon, because that would be, have a fine shadow edge. Edge of the shadow would be fine. This was kind of a fuzzy blur spot on Jupiter, like a comet hitting it. And the next day I watched the news, and something hit Jupiter, and it's like, oh, I seen it. I seen it. Wow. When I seen the the impression it left, and they don't stay there very, fills in with other clouds. But keep bidding on that thing. Get that thing up. Like I said, if you don't really want it and it's less than $100, I'll send you that money to pay for it, and I'll just keep it. And or we could do that, and then when I get the treasure, can give you there could be maybe something better, consolation, even better. But that thing, it'll belong once the treasure's found. The treasure will be in an exhibit. I plan on exhibiting it, keeping it 100% intact. Do give the bracelet to Fenn's granddaughter, then I would at least make a replica to keep with the treasure, or maybe she would accept a replica. If I had a replica before, you get Forrest Fenn a replica, and then she can have the replica, so that he can wear it before his time's up. It could be another 5 years before 5, 6 years, 10 years. Forrest might make it to. He's trying to catch up with George Burns, but I don't know. If Forrest isn't getting around so easily nowadays. He didn't want to stand for a picture, and he said that he's unable to go back. That his abilities are unable to go back and retrieve the treasure at this stage of life. And so people go, okay, it's where a 79-year-old man can go, but it's where an 87-year-old man can't go. It's not just a flat level lock. There is some uneven ground, and at least maybe if he had some kind of vehicle to get to it, or maybe there, but I don't think he can even do that. He could probably he'd have to bring somebody with him to fetch it for him. I think now it's not that easy a place that it's where an 87-year-old guy can't go. 79-year-old guy can go, an 87-year-old can't go. And I've seen it when we were at the first Fenbury I went to. Forrest was talking to somebody, and I was standing off to his left, and I noticed that he was. So he started to come back, and I put my hand up behind him. He stopped himself before he hit my hand, but I was ready to catch him if he did fall. And he's having trouble moving around. I might suggest Forrest take the whole alphabet of vitamins, and the magnesium, and the calcium, and the minerals. Read up at what's the daily recommended for your weight, and take those amount of vitamins and stuff. It'll last longer. You and Peggy, both of you. But I used to, when I was young, I'd take vitamins and I'd throw up. They made me sick, and so I'd never. But now I take a whole handful of vitamins every day, and I have pernicious anemia, so I don't absorb B12, and I have to inject it. And So I get I get A, B, C, D, E, calcium, magnesium, potassium. I take all of those now, and I feel better. I need a little more oxygen for searching because I get out of breath just moving on flat land. I barely get enough oxygen sitting down. And and when you go to those VA doctors, okay, breathe more, breathe, 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 breathe. It's like breathing's natural. I don't sit there all day and think about. I'd have to think about my breathing all the time. And I was baby, doctor. Well, he just stops breathing when he's sleeping. And I had sleep apnea. I stopped breathing like 30 times an hour, but they said it wasn't blockage. It was my brain just turning off the breathing. I do a lot of holding my breath, and I got really bad sinuses. If you see my MRI on my head, like one side of my sinuses looks normal, and the other side is like somebody smashed it, you know. And so, yep, go bid on that cowl on eBay. Somebody bring that and tell the blogs about it. I don't even go to those. I tweeted Terry Scant about it, and but I don't go to the Chase vlogs. I rarely put anything on Dale's, because Dale thinks Dale's one of the ones that think that this is just my imagination and it's not really it has nothing to do with Forrest's treasure hunt. Forrest Fenn's Buffalo Cowboys. Fenn's has an apostrophe S. The apostrophe S at the end of the name. If a name has an S already on the end, the apostrophe goes after the S. There's no S apostrophe S. That apostrophe just goes after the S, and that's it. If the name or word has no S on the end, then you apostrophe S. So that's a rule of punctuation. And another rule of punctuation, when you're quoting somebody and the original quote has an exclamation, that exclamation's inside the quote. If that quote is its own sentence, the period is inside the quote. If that quote is part of your sentence, then the period is after the quote. If it's just a part of what the person said, and you're just then that period comes after the quote. There's rules. I got the AP book on punctuation and use of the words and what things, how to use words when you're writing them in a newspaper and how to punctuate properly and all that. And you learn a lot reading that. So I took also I take classes. I've taken astronomy, 121, 122, and 123, and physics, physics 101, 102, 103, and physics, solar energy, and geology. Geology 305. Try taking Geology 305. Try remembering the names of every creature that may have left a fossil behind and what period they lived. Learn something new every day. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of stuff. Um, when the Egyptian thing, do, 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 you that you know where that came from? The Egyptian thing, where I know where it came from, and nobody's ever told you that this came from the elephant. That's the elephant trunk. That's the mammoth. That's what that represents, the mammoth dance. And he's got the tail coming out the back end. That's the mammoth. Enki created Adam and Eve in Colorado, not Turkey. The turkeys ain't figured it out. The Egyptian gods, the Anubis here, are twice as old as Egypt's. They're older than Samaria and all that. They came from here. They migrated. They brought the mammoths. Probably had a Colombian mammoth, right? An African elephant. Okay, got little ears and big ears, and you breed the two, and you get the Asian elephant with the medium ears. So is the Asian elephant a combination? And DNA might prove this. Yeah, it's a theory of mine. I'm not the DNA scientist, but the DNA, if you're a DNA researcher and stuff and into that paleontology and all that, and get some and figure out, does the Asian elephant have mammoth and African elephant in its blood? We need to find a pyramid. I found Enki, like I said, and Anubis right there. Anubis is the guardian of treasure, guardian of the dead, the usher to heaven, you know. And he has his sign there, people going into a vortex and drift into heaven and stuff. And that's the other thing. My opponents don't have the spiritual capabilities to find it. This requires you, it's almost a spiritual connection to find these ancient people. I've received letters that are 13,000 years old, basically. And gotta wake you up again. Ring the bell loudly. The letters are 13,000 years old. And my critics think Forrest Fenn would have zero interest in that whatsoever. My critics are pretty dumb. And so, yeah. So, okay, I'm about done. I gotta go do some searching today. I gotta do my paperwork for the court tomorrow, but all I think about is the treasure, and so it's hard to even cope with the rest of life because I'm so close to the treasure. Let's say, yeah, find it. If I haven't already found it, I'll find it. The trove part is, and you read it. The poem doesn't say the chest is hidden. You're seeking the trove. I reach back here for my book's right here next to me. And let's see. Yeah, I got a little smiley in mine. I got it signed at the February 2015. Or was it, no, 2016. 2016, February. He signed it. And just after that, I got in my Fenn zone. Anything before August of 2016, my videos before August of 2016 are not my area. I get people think those are, and I leave, because I want to leave a little distraction up there. But these were, do have some incorrect search areas. I have a few of them, but I have one correct search area, and nobody else has a correct search area. Everybody else has incorrect, because there's only one correct one. There can only be one correct search area. And the thousands of people up in Yellowstone don't have the correct search area. So maybe the day. Good luck. I found his trove. Vart. Bye-bye.